The smell clung to Leo's coat like a phantom, the stench of rot and despair. He'd been working at the shelter for months, but this one, the tiny shivering bundle of fur they'd named Little Man, broke him. He was just a puppy, barely 2 months old, his eyes wide and wary, his thin body barely holding onto life. They'd found him in a garbage bin, nestled amongst discarded food and rotting plastic, his tiny whimpers lost in the cacophony of the city. The vet had said he was lucky to be alive. His body temperature was dangerously low, his ribs sharp against his skin. The IV drip hummed in his tiny body, a lifeline against the odds. Leo sat beside his cage, watching him sleep, a tiny sigh escaping his thin chest. This was the face of neglect, of indifference, of the world's cruelty. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Little Man, as he was affectionately called, slowly came back to life. He began to wag his tail, a hesitant flicker at first, then a full-blown joyous dance. He started to eat, then to play, to explore the world that had almost swallowed him whole. One afternoon, Leo sat in the shelter's common area, a stack of paperwork before him. The familiar sounds of barks and purrs filled the room, the comforting chaos of a place dedicated to saving lives. A gentle nudge on his knee startled him. He looked down to see Little Man, now a gangly adolescent, his tail thumping a happy rhythm against the floor. He bent down, running a hand over the puppy's fur. "You're doing good, buddy," he murmured. Then, something incredible happened. Little Man whined, but not the usual playful whine. It was a soft, low sound, almost a whimper, and as Leo looked closer, he saw the puppy was staring at a girl in the corner, tears streaming down her face. She was huddled in a corner, clutching a worn teddy bear, whispering something in a language Leo didn't understand. He'd seen many heartbroken souls come through the shelter, but something about this girl, her delicate frame and the way she cradled her teddy, touched him deeply. He gently coaxed Little Man closer to her, and the puppy, as if sensing her distress, nuzzled his head against her hand. The girl's tears stopped, her gaze shifting from the puppy to Leo. He's like me," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. Leo smiled. He knew exactly what she meant. They were both survivors, both carrying scars, both searching for a little bit of love and hope. He took her hand, and with a whispered promise, they walked out of the shelter together, a puppy leading the way, his tail wagging, the sound of hope filling the air. The world was a cruel place, yes, but even in the darkest corners, there was always a spark of love, waiting to be ignited.